So, hey, we are live.
Yeah, we are.
Evidently, we've been live, and you haven't been able to hear us. But I think the far better combo is being able to hear us and not being able to see us. I mean, if you had to pick, I think that would be the way to go. But we were taking some questions today. We just finished recording an episode of our the Vox podcast that I think you're really going to like. It's long, but it's an interview with a guy who hosts a couple of podcasts that we love. And there's some really good stuff. If you can fight through how long it is, man, there's some really, really good stuff in that. So I encourage you to check that out Sunday night, Monday morning. And we've got some questions that get texted in or emailed in from folks from our community. And so we've been trying to keep up. We have like hundreds. We're trying to get ahead a little bit on this. And so we're excited to answer a few today. So Andy, what do we got?
All right. Number one. On the podcast, #ThingsOnlyChristianWomen here, you said the 12 disciples that turned into the 12 apostles represented the 12 tribes of Israel.
Correct.
So what was Paul then? He's the 13th apostle, maybe Melchizedek, totally guessing here. High five on the podcast, by the way.
I love it. Well, their apostle is used in two ways in the New Testament. One is as an authoritative designation for the 12. And that's the group that represents the reconstitution of Israel around Jesus. But there are other apostles. There's a female apostle. There's Paul the apostle. Other mentions of apostles and writings of the New Testament. So if you were an apostle, it didn't mean you were one of the 12. It meant you had a unique commission from the church, or in Paul's case, from Jesus himself, to be an ambassador of Jesus to the world. So there are lots of apostles in the New Testament, but the 12, that was a separate set. And those are the ones, in terms of Melchizedek, good pull. Not so sure that was in view there. So I like it though. I like it.
That's good.
Number two?
Number two. I have heard people say things like, your faith will unlock what God has for you. This doesn't seem to be theologically accurate, but it makes me anxious.
What's the line? Your faith will unlock
what God has for you. Did I say unlock you?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. This doesn't seem to be theologically accurate, but it makes me anxious because there are passages in the Bible about how faith pleases God. Do you think it's true that our words' level of faith have an impact on whether our prayers get answered? How is it possible to trust God when there are so many other wills being done on earth?
Question.
What do you do when you don't hear from God and need to make a big decision?
Jeez, okay. That's like 80 questions. Phenomenal questions. First of all, yes, this is a teaching that has been totally abused and can be misleading on its face. Secondly, Jesus does teach in places, and the Bible does seem to affirm in places, that faith does play a part. That Jesus, when he went to his hometown, couldn't do miracles because there was little faith. There's this. He'll teach about faith, but here's the big reason why this is so messed up. Faith is drastically misunderstood in an American context as opposed to what Jesus meant when he used the word faith. When we hear the word faith, we think psychological certainty. So if I believe it hard enough or believe it concretely enough, it will happen. And when you hear it that way, then this teaching is totally open to abuse, because how in the world do I convince myself of something? And how do I have faith as small as a mustard seed? And I can move mountains, but I've never moved mountains. And so what does all that mean? But faith is a relational, covenantal concept in the Gospels, in the New Testament. And because of that, it's synonymous with words like trust and confidence. Faith it's the loyalty to Jesus. That if you have if you were a client in the first century of a Roman patron, somebody who had supported you, you would offer them your loyalty in return. It was that allegiance that Jesus is talking about. And yes, when you're asking Jesus for things, if you're not allied with him, if you're not aligned with his purposes in the world, that does affect answers to prayer, of course. So I think that's what Jesus is getting at. He's not looking for people to have this name it, claim it sort of thing. It's that it's an allegiance that's out of relationship and covenant that he's after. Mm-hmm. And of course, in those terms, that matters on even what you pray and how you pray.
Yeah, great. Okay, number 3.
Boom.
These are big questions today.
I know, seriously.
Seriously.
Melchizedek.
Yeah. Superman. Number 3. I feel like there is this unspoken spiritual / emotional / psychological pressure or expectation to keep toxic people in our lives because Jesus suffers long with us, and so we're expected to do the same.
Okay.
But I'm not Jesus, and I've let go
Fair
of
point.
several relationships because of their toxicity, and there is honesty and emotional and psychological relief.
Yep.
I mean, I cut them out after 15 to 20 plus years of trying, so it's not like I didn't try. Why do I still feel conflicted spiritually, like God is mad at me for not being a good Christian? Where is the balance? I feel like I absorbed some bad theology along the way that makes me feel like this.
Wow.
What do you do as a pastor in situations like this?
Wow. Man, that so depends on the nature of the relationship. Is this a child, a parent, a husband, a wife, is a relative, a friend, a business partner? It depends on the nature of the toxicity. Is this really toxic, or you just don't like them? Are they doing harm to you in some very concrete way, or is it, just an annoyance? And I'm not. I can't judge that from the question. So I can imagine scenarios where absolutely you need to protect yourself and separate yourself and get the heck out of there and cut relationships off. And I can also imagine scenarios where people can use this as an excuse to just not love difficult people and not love your enemy and bless those that persecute you. So it's hard to say without knowing the kind of relationship, without knowing the heart behind the cutting off. Is the cutting off for the purpose of, is it really protection? Is it punishment? Is it their redemption? I mean, there's all sorts of things tangled in here. So for me as a pastor, there is a cultural expectation, absolutely beyond just being a Christian, that I am eminently concerned and available for everything that people think I should be concerned and available about. One of the things I try to be really honest about is that even though my title is pastor, I don't have that shepherding, compassionate, sort of wise counselor gift that other people have. And so I more make sure people are cared for rather than I care for people, if that makes a difference. If that makes sense in terms of a difference.
And I'd say that's kind of on a larger organizational scale.
On an organizational scale, absolutely.
Yeah.
Personally, yeah, I mean, friends and family, and of course, I mean, all of those sorts of things. But for me, I find a guy named Andy Stanley had some great advice about this. He said to pastors, he said, do for one person what you wish you could do for everybody. So I always want to have somebody that I'm walking along with, some situation that I'm immersed in, that I'm pastoring in, that's not just friends and family. I try not to have more than that, simply because I can very easily get lost and swamped into all those things. But I do feel absolutely responsible when there are people who need care, that they get care.
Yep.
And so we spend a lot of time in our community caring for folks and making sure that the folks that need it get it. And so I can't be more specific than that. I think there are times when it's totally appropriate. There are times when it's not. The conviction or guilt you feel could either be a remnant of bad theology, or it could be the Holy Spirit. I can't really know. So I'm sorry to not be more helpful with that. Maybe find a pastoral counselor, because we have some great ones. If you're a part of our community, maybe that would be a great thing to ask and get specific with, because I really don't know generally. Other than that, phenomenal questions. Please chime in. Let us know what you think and what you're wrestling with. And we're so honored to do this. So anything you want to add, Andy?
Nope. Make sure to check us out at voxpodcast.com. Check out the Vox Community Podcast at Vox Community. And you guys have a great day.
Have a great day, guys.
Yep.
Thanks. See you later. The Ducks won, evidently.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. So,
Go Ducks.
yippee. Hockey.